Okay. You see, here's the problem. Only about 30% of the world's population even claim to be Christian. You see, the problem is when we look at America, we think everybody's Christian, which is the biggest joke you will ever kid yourself with. No. When we talk about the world's population, I mean, think about the Muslim community. Think about Hinduism, Buddhism. Think about in Africa, their religion. When you take the global, the globe, the whole world, only about 30% of the world's population even claim to be Christian. Now, what do you think is going to happen to the 70% of humanity who are not Christian? 70%. Man, I didn't know the devil could do a better job at getting people lost. I thought God was stronger than that. I thought God could do a better job than that. But according to theologians, 70% of humanity will be tortured, get this, for all of eternity. That's 70%. Just like the neighbor that I told you about who goes out and tortures his puppies every single morning, and you get to hear it every single morning. There is this idea that in heaven that you can go over to hell and look at, I guess, family members, I guess children, I guess people that was from other nations, other countries, and that maybe over in Africa that just didn't have, and they'd never been told about Christ, and you get to watch them burn and be tortured for the rest of your life if you want to. It's like a theater or something. It's like a show. It's like a soap opera. If you're into that kind of diabolical stuff, you can watch people being tortured. 70% of humanity, you can watch them being tortured forever if you so choose. Just like you might want to get up and watch your neighbor torture his puppies every morning. Mainstream Christianity has presented to us a God who is a monster. A monster. And people buy into this nonsense. One, I don't think people think when it comes to religion. I just think they go to church, and it's like someone drills a hole in their head, pops in a funnel, and pours in mainstream Christianity, and it's all of this, this heaven or hell, being tortured for all eternity, and they just pop it in their heads, and that's it, and that's what I believe, and I know this is the gospel truth, that these people are going to burn for all eternity. I just know that God is a monster. Yeah. People buy into this nonsense. And they believe it with all their hearts because people, for the most part, religious people refuse to think. They refuse to think. They refuse to read their Bibles. They just go to church to be spoon-fed every single thing, every concept they believe about the law. The law's been abolished, been nailed to the cross, been fulfilled, been done away with. We don't need it. It's been rejected. Christ nailed it to his cross. People believe this. People believe that there's a Santa Claus that comes down chimneys bringing gifts. People believe in Halloween in church. Why? Because the minister says we ought to do it. No one's thinking in church. If you want to know a place where people refuse to think, go to church. They ain't going to do it. They excuse the grammar, but they're not going to do it. They're not going to think. They're not going to process what they think about or what they're being taught from the pulpit. They're not going to process it. They're just going to believe it.
Check us out on the web at isthatreallyinthebible.com.